What's up, guys? Welcome to Bet the Day for May 6th. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's ready to win some money. Yesterday, we got saved by the Mets. We'll talk about that in a minute. That was probably the greatest comeback I've ever seen in a baseball game in my life. So that was pretty epic, guys. Thanks for joining me this morning. We're letting people file in on TikTok, letting people file in on YouTube, guys. Going to be a great day. Got Grant Mitchell joining the show. He joined me last Friday, actually, on the first episode of Bet the Day. NBA analyst over at the Sports 2.0 network. So we're going to break down tonight's games. Also talk a little bit about tomorrow. And some other stuff, just like Ben Simmons' conversation. We found out he has to get surgery, right? So I'm going to ask him what his take is on that because a lot of people are hating on Ben Simmons, right? So it's going to be a great day, great show. Before we get into it, guys, though, make sure you check out our YouTube, guys. Please subscribe if you're watching on TikTok. Head over to YouTube so you can see the full interviews, guys, there. Got a lot of other content, daily picks on there. Also, check out our merch, Bet the Day merch. 3 Team Parlay merch is live right now. You can get your merch and get on it, guys, before it sells out. Go into the link in the description on TikTok. Just go up into the bio, press it. Bet the Day merch is right at the top there. Also, 3 Team Parlay merch. If you're on YouTube, go in the description. Check it out right there, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's ready to make some money. Got some comments coming on here. What's up, homie G? Matthew Markland, how we doing? Redbirds. Sup, Redbirds. I hope we are on the same side of bets today because when I'm on the same side of bets as you, I feel good. I feel very good. That Mets game was crazy. We're going to start with that here in a minute. Let some people file in on TikTok. Grant's going to join us in about 10, 15 minutes here. And then we will get into NBA. But we're going to recap yesterday. What's up? Free Pickman coming in on TikTok, guys. Guys, let's hear the TikToks. Let's hear the comments on TikTok. Let's hear the comments on YouTube. They're all coming in. Adam Greenberg, how we doing? Adam, are you back in the Discord? I haven't talked to Big Red in a while. I really want to talk to Big Red on Discord. But hope everyone's doing well, guys. It's time to win some money, and let's get into it. So actually, you know what? Let's start with Nationals-Rockies real quick here. We'll start with that game yesterday, and then we'll move into the Mets because I want some people to be on when we get in the Mets. Let some people file in here on TikTok and YouTube as well. What's up, Adam? Adam, are you betting again or no? What have you been doing? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, guys, so Bet the Day. It's Bet the Day for May 6th. Let's get into it. Nationals-Rockies under 11. Now, this game was early yesterday. My heart got broken pretty early. You know, as a bettor, though, you just got to tip your cap when you're playing the under here. I had so many people like comment, heckle me, try to say, hey, why would you ever take an under at Coors Field? Blah, 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 blah. Listen, I don't really care. I really don't care because the day before there were 7 runs scored at Coors Field. They boost the total. Bookmakers boost the total a couple runs. You see the Rockies are playing the Diamondbacks tonight. Now, granted, the Diamondbacks don't hit the ball, but the total's like 8 or 8.5 tonight. So they boost the total at Coors Field a couple runs, and I think that gives us bettors an advantage when playing unders. Now, yesterday, a lot of people said, oh, why would you ever take an under at Coors Field? Why would you ever take an under? Guys, listen. It wasn't Coors Field. It was the fact of the matter that the Nats were 4 of 14 with runners in scoring position. They had both starters gave up 13 hits combined. The Rockies were 5 of 9 with runners in scoring position. So Josh Bell and Juan Soto beat them, guys. That's all it came down to in this game. I mean, it wasn't really anything special. They just beat them, right? The over got beat because guys can't. The over hit because the star player stepped up in big spots. It didn't have anything to do with playing at Coors Field. The star stepped up. Under on that, too. I've been killing it on betting against the Reds. They're absolutely a dumpster fire. Now, fun fact about the Reds are on pace for 19.44 wins right now. 19.44. The worst team in baseball history, Cleveland Spiders, 1899, 20 wins. Will they reach that? I don't know. I think they'll be better than 20 wins once they get rolling. Not always on it. Been busy. There you go, Adam. Betting every day, up and down as usual. Down this week. Could use a winner a day. Let's get a winner a day. Let's hit a winner. Now, let's talk about this Mets game. Let's see what we got any comments on here. I took it on the chin yesterday. Today's a new day. Well, the Mets saved me yesterday. The Mets really did save me because if it wasn't for the Mets, I would have been in deep shit yesterday. I'm not going to lie, but we ended up pulling out a 3-3 day. Now let's talk about these Mets because a lot of people are saying, hey, the Mets are done, right? The Mets are not going to do anything this year. Once the second half of the season rolls around, this team's going to be the Mets. But what I saw last night was something that usually happens to the Mets. They brought it on someone else, right? They took it to someone else, right? That's what I saw with the New York Mets, okay? Lindor hit a 2-run homer in the ninth. Mark Canha had an RBI single. J.D. Davis had an RBI double. Brandon Nimmo had a 2 RBI single. And then Starling Marte had the RBI double, guys. That was Mets baseball this season. The Mets are back. The Mets are here to stay, guys. This is a World Series team. I'm saying that last night. Like, I didn't watch the game. When they went down 7-0, I literally said, guys, I'm done. I hate my life. And I turned it off, and I started watching hockey, right? Started watching the Avalanche not go over, and that bothered me. And then I check my phone, like Discord starts blowing up. A lot of things start blowing up. And I'm like, how? How did they just score 7 runs in the top of the ninth inning? That doesn't happen. Now, we had a better, and we were one of the first people to share it on TikTok, at least. There was a $250 live bet on the Mets going into the ninth inning that won $8,750. The odds plus 3,400. So that was pretty impressive stuff there. Let's see the comments. No, hate the Mets, but I had Strohs minus a hat 1.5. Oh, that one hurt. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yankees run line, Dodgers run line, Mets run line today. Oh, the Mets killed my card. I hate Philly. I'm hungover. Reds might not even get 30 wins. They might not, guys. Man, today could be the day of the dog in MLB. I like it. So I'm playing some unders today. I am going to play Yankees today. I love the Yankees now. I'm a big Yankee guy. So we'll talk about that in a minute after Grant joins the show. When Grant joins the show, we're going to strictly talk basketball, guys. That shows sports are rigged. It doesn't show sports are rigged, guys. Do you think the Phillies said, hey, I'm going to throw a freaking softball right over the middle of the plate, and I want you to freaking score 7 runs this inning? No, you don't. You absolutely don't, people. So we'll keep going here. That Mets game was pretty impressive. Just good stuff by the Mets. Blue Jays wise, listen, I'm done betting on the Blue Jays for a while. They're 5-5 in their past 10. They're not playing good baseball, and they're unpredictable, right? Some games they win by a lot. Other games they don't. Now, the Guardians, 4 of 8 with runners in scoring position. That's unacceptable. Blue Jays, 1 of 10 with runners in scoring position. Like, if I'm betting on the Blue Jays, I can't see them. I can't have their bullpen being a 4 of 8 with runners in scoring position, giving up those key hits, right? We look at the Blue Jays, they're 1 of 10. This team needs to be more than Vladdy. If they're not more than Vladdy, they are going to really struggle. Pirates money line today. We'll talk about all that here in a minute. But we're just rolling through. We got Grant in the room coming on in a minute here. But let's just roll through. Keep rolling through our bets from yesterday. Tigers, Astros. That one felt really good for me. The under, I hit that big. I put a big chunk of money on that because it was Tarek Skubal. He did what he needed to do. He gave up 2 runs, but he punched out 9. Jose Urquidy had the matchup to shove. He absolutely shoved against the Tigers, so that was good. That game stayed under 8.5. Now, Astros run line bettors, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. That one hurt a lot. Me watching it, I had the under, so I really didn't care when Detroit tied it up late there. But I know run line bettors were very upset. In hockey, we had 2 plays there. Predators, Avs, over 6.5, 2-1 game. What I saw from the Predators last night was what we thought they could do in this series. They're not going to be able to match the offensive power of the Avalanche, but they played really good on defense. And that's what we saw from them. They hit the shit out of the Avalanche last night, but Colorado delivered. Cale Makar finished the job in OT. Nate McKinnon had a goal there. And then Stars, Flames, that game stayed under 5.5. The Stars won 2-0. Stars could be a legit threat in this series. From what they've shown me so far, they played great in game 1. They shut down Johnny Gaudreau in game 1. They shut him down in game 2, and they scored 2 goals in game 2. So it's pretty impressive stuff. Let's see the comments we got here. BP311, Mets helped me out. The Mets did help me out too, BP, Brian. I was so shocked. The Red Sox hurt me yesterday on TikTok coming in here. Guys, the Red Sox are so bad at baseball, it's not even funny. I got the under in the Red Sox game today. I'll say it before Grant even comes on here. I'm taking the under because why not? Let's get the likes up, people. Give me some likes. I'm working hard here. Grab Yankees minus 1.5 today as well. And I hate playing Yankees run line when they're at home, but Garrett Cole on the mound today, I'm going to ride with it, see what we can do. Adam coming in here. My bookie doesn't have Dodgers as an option today. Not yet. Anyway, I like the Dodgers run line. I do too. My FanDuel did not have it this morning. I didn't check DraftKings yet, but FanDuel did not have it. Predators plus 1.5 hit last night. They played really well, Brian. They played really, really well. I think Avalanche had so many opportunities, though. They blew a lot of opportunities. So that does scare me to bet the Predators in the future. But if there's hit props, if there's, shot block props or something, I might look into that because the Predators have a team that can play good on defense when they show up. But you look at the Predators game last night, they had 49 saves. Connor Ingram made 49 saves for them last night. That's not going to happen every game. I think the Avalanche outshot them 51-26. If you go 7 games and every game you're outshot 51-26, eventually the over is going to hit and eventually you're going to get blown off the ice. So let's see what we got here rolling on TikTok. Mets. Sharky, how we doing, Sharky? Red Sox hurt me. Had 500 on Philly and Houston. That's rough. Pirates money line today. I'll give you a quick little hint on Pirates just in case you don't want to watch the full show here. Pirates money line today. Let's see what the odds are for this game. Pirates money line versus the Reds. Yeah, I would take a minus 1.5. Why not? I did something last night. 20-5, I think favorites are 20-5 against the Reds this season, covering on the run line, so minus 1.5. If you put $100 against the Reds every single day of the season, you'd already be up $1,500. We used to say that Dodgers run line was the number 1 bet in sports. It's actually bet against the Reds on the run line every single day of the week. So, yeah, I would go Pirates. I'm a big JT Brubaker guy. I know some people aren't, but I really do like JT Brubaker. I've liked him for a couple of years now. So Bruins, we're going to talk about the Bruins here in a minute. I don't trust the Bruins. I really don't. And for minus 120, I don't trust the Bruins. We're going to break all this stuff down after, guys. We're going to talk specifically basketball right now with Grant Mitchell. If you guys remember, Grant joined me last Friday to talk NBA. Very, very excited to welcome him back to the show. Here he is, Grant Mitchell from the Sports 2.0 Network, NBA analyst. How we doing, G-Money? Give me a second. Grant, you're muted. Grant, you got to unmute your mic.
Oh, there we go. My fault, Tanner.
Problem, Grant. How we doing, man?
Me on. Yeah, I'm doing great. I just wanted to say you're an absolute machine. You're going through 100 different baseball games, talking some hockey, all in the span of about 30 seconds. Nobody does it like you.
I appreciate that, Grant. You know what? I like a lot of people reach out to me and say I give too many plays, but I like the plays, so I'm going to give the plays, right? Got some comments rolling in here, Grant, before we start with basketball. I did Brewers over 4.5 runs yesterday against the Reds. Easy money. Reds got to win at some point, maybe against Pittsburgh. This is the best chance they have to win. I don't know if it's going to happen. But, Grant, before we get into basketball, I want to ask you your opinion on the Reds because they suck.
Yeah, I don't know why you were contemplating the Pirates' money line. If it was the spread, I mean,
well, I was looking spread. Come on now.
Yeah, come on, Tanner. Listen, I'm a fan of you. You know that. I read what you wrote last night. I know that for the rest of the season, I'm supposed to bet the Reds spread. I mean, this isn't groundbreaking news. They are 3-22. They are awful. There is no way you should be taking the Reds in any bet, in my estimation.
No, I mean, if you're on pace for 19.44 wins, like they're obviously going to win more than 20 games. I don't think we're going to see a team under 20 wins, but like it would be pretty cool, honestly, if they won like 18, 19 games. I think that would be awesome. Anyways, Grant, let's get into basketball here. Now, before we even talk about the playoff games, before we talk about tonight's games, tomorrow's games, I want to talk about Ben Simmons a little bit. I want to get your take on this. Now, we know he has to get surgery. Does that change your opinion on Ben Simmons with the Nets, all the flack he was getting for sitting on the bench with his freaking Gucci shades and all that, not getting in there and trying to play?
Honestly, it doesn't change a thing. It may shift blame a little bit, but I think it still just shifts blame within his own complex, if you want to call it. It feels like he tried to say that he had a mental block with playing, right? And that is a real thing. Like, Tanner, you'll appreciate this being that you're a former offensive lineman. You've been in the weight room. I hurt my back a long time ago. I know my back doesn't hurt, but sometimes when I do something, my mind tells me my back hurts, even though it doesn't. So I understand if Ben Simmons received a lot of criticism last time he was on a basketball court, going out there could cause his back to tighten up, right? What I want to understand is if it was not a mental block and there was a serious physical ailment and he required surgery, why was he clear to play in games 3 and 4? Why did the Nets say we were expecting him to go out there and play 15 to 20 minutes? Either Ben Simmons was lying to the organization, he didn't do enough he didn't get enough tests done to understand what was actually wrong with him, or the Nets made a trade where they traded away James Harden, keep in mind. I know he hasn't played that well, but this is James Harden. They gave him up not understanding the asset they were giving back. So no, this doesn't take blame away from anybody. If anything, it just shifts where the blame falls, but it's still a ridiculous situation.
Yeah, 100%. Now, one hypothetical here. I know hindsight would be 2020, obviously, however you want to say it. But if Ben Simmons did play for the Nets against the Celtics, do the Celtics sweep them still?
I think the Nets might get one game, but I don't think a lot changes. And the reason I say that is because if you look at these clutch moments, right, I've never really felt like the Nets were going to win. But in saying that, the games were fairly close, especially in the fourth quarter. Ben Simmons is not a player that wins you a game necessarily. He can help you in those first 3 quarters. He plays really tough defense. He can defend in the fourth quarter if you're constantly making offensive, defensive substitutions. But like we saw, the game would probably still have been close, just in a different way. Instead of the Celtics making the clutch shots, they would have just fouled Ben Simmons. He would have gone and missed the free throws, and they would have assumed a larger lead. And then the Nets would have had to take him out the game. So I don't think it makes that much of a difference. Like I said, maybe they win one game, but I don't think Ben Simmons' contribution to winning in the playoffs is that great.
Yeah, we got some comments rolling in here on TikTok. Yuri 12 wouldn't have been a sweep, but Celtics still would have won. Yeah, I mean, we can't really trust what Ben Simmons would have done, right? Hadn't played in a while. We know how he was in the playoffs with the Sixers. So how would he be with the Nets, right? Now, Grant, we have a ton of stuff to talk about with tonight's games. We got Heat Sixers. to start it off. Then we got Mavs, Suns. We're going to start with Heat, Sixers. Now, yesterday I was looking at lines, and I did place a bet. I took Heat -1 yesterday. I said, go hammer this line right now because it's going to jump. The Sixers are now 3-point underdogs at home. And in game 2, I was just waiting for James Harden to step up. I was saying, James Harden, please just score. Just go score. We didn't see that, right? Tyrese Maxey was the guy. Tobias Harris, played good, not as good as he did in game 1, obviously. But I don't even, at -3 still right now with the Heat, I don't know how you could take the other side, how you could defend the Sixers. I mean, what's your take on that?
Tanner, I'm going to do you one better. Unless Doctor Strange takes a break from his new movie and he comes out and conjures a new universe and where James Harden from 5 years ago comes back, there is no hope for the Sixers. Like you, I took that -1. I said, this is one of the most ridiculous betting lines that I have ever seen. The Heat should be favored by 10.
Yeah.
They have been slaughtering the Sixers. Home court advantage does not mean that much if your best player and MVP candidate is not playing in the game. And, we can jump into this right now. One of my favorite player props is Tobias Harris over 19.5 points, but that's just because he and Tyrese Maxey are really the only ones out there. And Maxey isn't even supposed to be that big of a contributor. He's just stepped up because Harden, A, has regressed, and B, has shown no interest in being the catalyst of a winning team. And we can go back to that Ben Simmons thing earlier. One of the favorite conversations in sports is who won the trade, right? Nobody won the trade. They both lost. Both teams have fallen apart because of this trade. But getting back to the main point, I don't see a world in which the Heat lose this game. It would take, Bam Adebayo committing a Dylan Brooks ejection. Jimmy Butler has to leave injured. Maybe there's an assassination attempt and they have to get Eric Spoelstra out of the arena. Aside from all of that happening at the same time, I can't see a world in which the Sixers win this game.
No, and honestly, the line opened at -1, right? I think by closing time tonight, it's 5 points. It's got to be. And I know that's a huge shift, but there's no way in your right mind you can say, hey, what the Sixers done in game 1, game 2, I believe they can win even at home. Now, I'll give the Sixers some credit. In game 2, they came out. I had the over. They did score some points. They came out pretty well. But then again, the Heat just wore them down in the second half. And I was waiting for that moment where Philadelphia was going to take charge, where James Harden was going to step up and say, hey, I'm the guy. I'm going to make a shot right now. Because there were points in that fourth quarter where the Sixers could have made it relatively interesting and covered that +8. But just nobody stepped up. And it bothered me as a bettor.
Can I tell you something, Tanner? This is my hot take right now.
Yep.
So I'm a big fan of living in the moment right now. It's the same reason that I could put together a compelling argument that Luka Doncic is better than Steph Curry. Now, I'm not saying that's definitively the case, but if we're looking at 2022 alone, there is an argument to be made. If we are looking at James Harden since he showed up in the city of brotherly love, he is not a top 40 player in the NBA. Not only that, he's not the best guard on his team. Tyrese Maxey has been so much more impactful in these playoffs than Harden. And we're going into a bunch of different avenues with this, but Harden is potentially going to demand a 4-year max deal, paying him $61 million 4 years from now when he's 37. I'm stealing from Shannon Sharp here, but James Harden is aging in dog years. We can see him getting slower. We can see him getting fatter. We can see him getting more brittle. We can see him carrying less.
Yeah.
I personally am not signing James Harden for a 1-year extension. The fact that he has the audacity to go out there and play this poorly and then potentially demand a 4-year max extension, making more than Embiid, by the way, who very well is going to finish top 2 in MVP voting. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's living off Houston Harden. He's living off that reputation, right? He was a decent assist guy, but that doesn't deserve a max deal, especially when you can't step up with Embiid not on the floor, right? I took the over of 22.5. Now, the biggest prop, I felt stupid after I saw this on social media, but the most wagered prop bet in game 2 was James Harden under his point total. I took 22.5 because here was my theory. I said game 1 obviously didn't go his way, right? Game 2, this is a must-win game for the Sixers. They need to step up. And if there's going to be one guy to step up, it's got to be James Harden. It's got to be the guy making the most money on the floor. It's got to be him. And then he had 20 points. I heard a stat. He's gone under 25 points in a playoff game for the past 15 playoff games he's been in. I don't know what it was. Don't quote me on that. But the guy just has not stepped up when it matters. You have it?
12 games. His
12
longest
games.
streak since he was coming off the bench in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. So he really needs to step up tonight if they have any sort of chance. But like you said, I would hammer -1, I would hammer -3, I would hammer -8. I'd hammer it all for the Heat because I don't think home floor advantage means that much when you're looking at a Heat team that's just better on paper.
And Tanner, this is a betting show, right? So a popular betting strategy, say you think Jordan Poole is going to have a good game, right? You put Jordan Poole over 20 points, then you'll put a little less money on Jordan Poole over 25 points, and then a little less on Jordan Poole over 30 points, right? That's a popular betting strategy. I would do the same thing here, creating alternate spreads. If you didn't get -1 like you and I did, go for the -3, shouldn't be a problem. Would take -6. I would take -8. I would even throw maybe 10, 20 bucks on a -15, try to get a big payout. I don't see this game being close.
Yeah, so we got some prop questions rolling in. Grant, did he say he likes Harris over 18.5? You like Harris over 19.5 was or 18.5?
I believe it was 18 or 19.5, excuse me.
19.5. That's still a really good total for him. What do you have, 28 and then 21 the other night or something like that? Maxey over 22.5 I have right now. I love that bet. Boom or bust guy, but he's more likely to boom, especially with James Harden not being the guy. And then I have Harden under 22.5 tonight. Now, Grant, is there any chance James Harden says, hey, I'm going to go over 22.5 tonight? There's got to be a little chance. He's still James Harden, right?
He is still James Harden. And so it's hard to remove that from your memory because this was a guy that 2-3 years ago, people were saying is a better scorer than Kobe, a better scorer than Michael Jordan, a better scorer than Kevin Durant, the better scorer than Allen Iverson, the most talented scorer ever. So he has it within him. His biggest problem, as we know, has been his consistency and lack of desire. And so while it is possible, he's not done a lot to show that it is going to happen. He's shooting, I think, 32% from three, a guy who just a couple of years ago was taking more threes than anybody in the league, including Steph Curry. The guy with that patented step back. Now he doesn't even go to the step back that much anymore because it isn't falling. He tries to blow by a defender and he just can't do it. So if Harden is going to go over, he has to come out and make his first 4 or 5 shots in the first 6 to 8 minutes of the game. And then maybe we're on for something, but otherwise I don't see it happening. Another big part too, I might add, is that referees do not call games fairly. Like, let's keep it honest. There are players that seek contact, and if those players are good free throw shooters, they get more foul calls. So that was the Houston James Harden. That's the current Joel Embiid. It was Kevin Durant. Not that he necessarily seeks contact, but sometimes he knows he can get the calls and he knows he can go make free throws. It's another reason players like LeBron and going back Shaq, they were so big and burly and they'd always miss their free throws. It was just kind of hard to referee those guys, right?
Yeah.
Harden has hit that point where because he can't get by people and he can't initiate contact like he once used to, he's not getting foul shots anymore either. So it's really hard for him to go over. If it does, it'll be an aberration and it will suck as a prop bettor. But I would shrug it off and continue to bet his under for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go with what he's done, right? Under in 12 games, under 25 points, so 22.5 is his total tonight. From what I've seen in game 1, game 2, he's not going to step up. He doesn't want to step up, so I'm going to take the under on that. We got a few questions rolling in here, Grant. We're going to talk about the total, guys, in a minute. We're going to have a separate conversation on that, but we got Bam over 18.5 and then Tyler Heroes over as well. What do you think of those two plays? I can look up Heroes point total. I don't have it with me right here.
Yeah, I don't see Heroes in front of me either right now on the website. So if you could let me know what that is, I'll get back to you. Bam Adebayo, I believe, is at 18.5 last I checked, and that really shouldn't be anything for him, especially we know that Bam Adebayo is shooting 9 of 10 when DeAndre Jordan is his primary defender. Doc Rivers said he has no plans to stop playing DeAndre Jordan. A very, very dumb decision. Another reason why I think Doc Rivers is in way over his head with this team and also with his legacy. I think he's overvalued. Naming him one of the 15 best coaches in league history was just ridiculous to me, but that's a whole different conversation. Adebayo should have no problem scoring 20+, especially if the Heat are going to win like we think they are going to. It's going to be him. It's going to be Tyler Hero leading the way for them, most likely. That's been their recipe in this series.
Yeah, 100%. I don't have an over for Tyler Hero, so Alex, if you could let me know what that is. I don't know if FanDuel or DraftKings has posted a bench players yet. Tor coming in here. Me gusta dinero, money. Let's get back on track. New day. Let's effing go. There we go. What's your shirt say? Shirt says good teams win. Great teams cover, people. That's science. And you know what? The Heat are going to cover tonight because they're a great team. That's what we're rolling with, Grant. Until they get beat by the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what I'll say about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. Don't even get me started on the Celtics. But total-wise, 210. I got the total last game at 207.5. I went over on it. I figured the Sixers would come out a little bit on fire. And eventually that total was up to like 230 something live. And then it fell in the fourth quarter and I started getting very concerned. And then ultimately they started scoring again. I would probably say over on this game, just the fact that the Sixers at home, probably going to see a similar approach to what they had. And then the Heat shot the lights out in the game 2. So I think hopefully they can get that going in game 3. What would you say about this total?
I would like to think it goes over, but again, it kind of just goes back to my questioning of Doc Rivers' coaching ability. It seems very obvious to me that his team is undermanned, and so rolling with your normal strategy is not going to work, especially with DeAndre Jordan, who statistically probably has been the worst player in the NBA. I'm not saying he is talent-wise, but he's just not been performing. When he's in your starting lineup, you have to change something. And so I think their best bet is to roll with Tobias Harris at center and really try to downsize, space the floor. You start getting long rebounds, kind of embrace the randomness and variability of it. And if they do that, A, that's going to lead to more points, and B, I think it's going to keep the game closer. So I would like to say it goes over, but I don't trust Doc as a coach. I very well think you might leave DeAndre in the entire game. You never know. So I would shy away from the points total and stick with the Heat spread. But if push comes to shove, I would go over.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Heat minus. I have Heat -1 already. I'll probably take Heat -3 in a same game parlay or something. But I'm going to stay away from the total. I felt I got lucky with the total in game 2 because I just saw so much fluctuation in that live total. So I'm going to stay away from it tonight. I'm considering playing a total in the Mavs game tonight, but not exactly sure. So, Grant, unless you have something to say about Sixers anymore, we'll move into Suns and Mavericks here.
This team is cooked without Joel Embiid, and they can't re-sign Harden either.
No, I mean, I wouldn't re-sign Harden. I'd give him league minimum the way he's playing right now. So Grant, Mavs are at home tonight. This spread opened at minus. It was a pick'em game. Now Suns are -1. Luka has been the guy, right? Same thing though, kind of with the Sixers. I'm waiting for someone else to step up. We haven't gotten much production out of Jalen Brunson. Reggie Bullock stepped up in game 2 a little bit, but Luka's been the guy, and ultimately that's been their downfall because you can't beat a team like the Suns who are shooting 64.5% from the field in game 2 with one player, no matter how good they are. So I'm on Suns -1 tonight. What are you taking?
This has been my downfall. I am a little stubborn at times.
Yeah.
I said the Mavericks are going to win this series before it started, and I haven't loved what I've seen so far. But what I do love is Jason Kidd. I think he has become a very good coach in the NBA. I think he's going to come up with a plan to hide Luka on defense, because what the Suns did was in the fourth quarter, after Luka had scored all these points, expended all this energy, they said, we're not going to allow you the chance to take over in the fourth quarter because we're going to run 20 pick and rolls, if that's what it takes, until we find you, until we get you switched on to either Chris Paul or Devin Booker. We're going to go at you, and we're going to make it so you're spending all your energy on defense, you're working, and you can't get in a rhythm because you don't have your legs in your jump shot. Nothing's going to be going for you on offense. And it was a decently close game. I mean, the Suns, were up for most of it, but it was close going into halftime. Some of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, they just blew it open.
Yeah.
And so I expect Jason Kidd and the Mavs to come out with a different defensive approach. I don't think they're going to allow Luka to switch. I think they're going to play drop coverage, dare Chris Paul and those other guys to take those threes. And that's a double-edged sword because they can make them, but at least you're preserving Luka. And like you said, I don't expect Jalen Brunson to be as bad. Luka has been completely alone in this series. And this is a Mavs team that, keep in mind, won 2 out of 3 games against the Utah Jazz without Luka in the lineup. So we know they can do it. They just haven't done it yet. But I'm expecting the Mavs to come out. I think they will win. The series doesn't start until the home team loses. So, as much as I wanted to bet on the Mavs to win the games, it didn't work out. But I think they're going to take care of it in game 3.
Yeah, I've just been heartbroken so much because I had +6 in game 1, I had +6.5 in game 2, and it just destroyed me as a bettor because going into the locker room at the half, I thought the Mavs had a chance. I thought they were going to come out and, quite frankly, win the game straight up. But Luka ran out of steam a little bit. Suns had a great approach, and they shot over 52% from 3-point land. Like you said, if they allow them to take those shots tonight, who knows if it's going to work? I mean, this Suns team has shown us nothing but lights out shooting behind Chris Paul, behind Devin Booker, right? Michael Bridges plus 31, the plus minus there too. Like, even role players are getting jobs done. DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder stepped up, 15 points, 7 rebounds. Like, this team's just playing really, really good basketball right now.
Yeah, and they were the best team in the league during the regular season. So, I guess there is something to be said for that. But yeah, Chris Paul shooting 72% of mid-range is insane. He hasn't been getting anything he wants. Like I said, I expect some defensive adjustments. I don't think the team is going to keep playing as poorly as they have. I'm riding with my pick. I like the Mavs.
All right. You like the Mavs? So you're going to take Mavs +1, or you might as well just take them straight up. That's the point.
Oh yeah, if I like a +1 team, I take them on the money line pretty much every time. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, if I got like +3, +3.5, I might consider it. But like, I've lost twice already, and the Suns have proven to me that they can win and they can shoot the ball and they can play as a team. Where the Mavs, it's all Luka right now. I got some comments on here. Stay strong, Tanner. Go Mavs. I'm staying strong, guys. I was on the Mavs for 2 games. He's been double. Who are they talking about here? Jimmy Butler. They're talking Heat here. Clown statement T. I don't know what statement that was for. We got so many comments rolling on TikTok, Grant. It's hard to keep up with them all. Now let's talk.
That's because you're such a big deal, Tanner.
I don't know about that. I mean, we're getting there, but for a week doing the show, we're not doing bad, I guess. Got another comment from Alex. I'm feeling maybe Mavs money line, Mavs first half than Suns money line. I think that's good because I think the Mavs do come out on fire tonight. I think the Mavs go in the locker room up. The Suns are going to have to fight back in this game, but like we've seen, Luka's the only guy. I don't think Jalen Brunson's going to be as bad. I don't think Reggie Bullock's going to be as good. So you're probably going to even out there, and then Luka's going to have to step up as he's done all series. So.
I'm not so sure, to be completely honest with you. The Suns have been coming out really strong. That's kind of their MO. I know they are amazing in clutch time. They're on pace to break the Lakers record for most wins with 0 losses when leading entering the fourth quarter. I know that's a mouthful. Basically, I think they're 51-0 this season, regular season and postseason, when going into the fourth quarter with a lead. So I know that they have that tendency to perform in clutch time, but they also come out pretty strong. And like we were just saying, it is kind of Luka versus everybody. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns take that first half lead. But like I said, the defensive adjustments, I think the Mavs take the second half. So I'm kind of going with the opposite here.
All right, there you go. Well, hey, you know what? You got to agree to disagree sometimes, Grant. Come on now. Luka Doncic, over under 34.5 points. What, he had? Big game in game 1. He had 35 in game 2. Just because of the number here, like, I'd want to go under, but at the same time, they're at home and he's the guy. So I feel like I have to go over. What's your take on this?
Over. He's averaging nearly 34 points per game in his playoff career. So this is not some extravagant, extraordinary number. He's averaging 40 in this series. He went over this total in both of the games in this series. He's going home. It has to go over. If the Mavs are going to win, it has to go over. Yeah. There's no way around it.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd go over on that as well. Let's talk about the total here. 219. There are a lot of points scored in game 2, right? But at the same time, too, this Mavs team, when they're playing their best basketball, they like to slow the pace down, and they need the Suns to miss shots to win this game. So your narrative, I imagine you got to say under. This is a high total for me. I might stay away. I might play it. I'm not really sure yet, but I want to get your take because I do trust your take as a basketball analyst, Grant. So what are you riding with the total?
Over. Like I said, Suns come out hot. Mavs battle back in the second half. I think that it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think we're looking at somewhere along a 120 to 115. I got the Mavs on top.
All right, Grant. All right, well, you're all in on the Mavs. You're all in on the Heat. All in on the Mavs. All in on the overs. There. Wait, you said you weren't playing the total in that game 1. You're going to fade that, right?
Yeah, but I believe I said if I had to pick, I would go over, but I would just avoid it if it was me personally.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do the same. And then right now I just have my spreads locked in, but we will see. I can't go to Mavs a third feeling after losing money twice, staying away from this one. I'm not going to stay away. I'm going to ride at the other side, just get some revenge on the Mavs. But I totally agree with that, Brian. Alex coming in. What's the over for Luka? It's at 34.5. Grant's going over. I'm going to take the over. I'll probably do it in a low risk same game parlay though. All right, Grant, let's break down these next two series tomorrow really quick here. Celtics Bucks. I don't think I'm a Celtics fan. People think I'm an unrealistic Boston sports fan. Listen, I think the Red Sox suck right now. I think the Bruins are done. I don't have any take on the Patriots right now. And then when we look at the Celtics, they're not going to be able to do what they did in game 2 throughout this series. They need to get in the paint. They need to make shots down low, and the Bucks have dominated that category. If they wouldn't have punched Giannis and the Bucks in the mouth in game 2, they would have lost. So you think Bucks in 6? I'm hoping Celtics in 7. But how do the Celtics win this game on Saturday?
Before we get into that, I just want to clarify something. You might not be an unrealistic Boston fan, but you are a front-running Boston fan, okay? When things are going good in the Tanner Kern household, because he's out there going, the Red Sox are winning the World Series. We won today, first day of the season. We're 1-0, undefeated so far. And what happened? You got shut out by the Angels. I told you, the Red Sox aren't on anything this year.
No, they're terrible. They're terrible. But I will say, speaking Boston Red Sox, what are they're 7 and 14. I don't even know what they are, right? They're really bad right now. But anytime they've lost their first 15 of 30 games during a season, they haven't made the playoffs. So this year is probably going to be where we don't make the playoffs. At the same time, though, Grant, last year when we were working together and I was saying a lot of things about the Red Sox and how good they were, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't lying. They did go all the way to the ALCS, and they had a 2-1 lead on the Houston Astros. So I'm realistic. They're Celtics. I'm realistic. I just said they're probably going to lose, but I hope they win. Bruins, I don't know. The Bruins are minus 120 tonight. People will talk about that in a minute here. But I'm kind of dead in the water on Boston teams. My only hope is the Celtics winning this series. I hope it's going to happen. I don't know why. But why do you, first of all, Grant, tell me how the Celtics win and then why the Bucks are going to win. Because I feel like that argument goes together.
Yeah, so how the Celtics win is that, honestly, they just keep doing what they've done defensively. And it's weird to say, after Kevin Durant had that really bad game 1, I texted you and I said, Tanner, congratulations. You barely won the worst game that Kevin Durant will play in this series. And then his next 2 games were even worse. So, I mean, game 4, he statistically played a lot better, but he had a lot of shortcomings in the clutch moments. So you could say those were bad games too. So up to this point, the Celtics kind of have forced all bad games from the best players in the series. And we talked about after game 1, Giannis still dominated, even though he shot like 36% and 55% from the free throw line. But still, the Celtics defense statistically was doing what it was supposed to do. So I don't know where I'm at with the Celtics team, because I believe great offense beats great defense about 90% of the time. That's just the way it is. Defense is reactionary. Offense is, they are the initiators. They are the attackers. But the Celtics have been attacking on defense, and they did it without Marcus Smart, which is the craziest part. So to be completely honest, I don't quite know what to expect from them. I did have the Bucks in 6 at the start of this series, but the Celtics are doing things on defense that I did not think was possible in the modern NBA. Now, I don't think Drew Holiday is going to be as horrible as he was in the last game. I don't think Brook Lopez is going to make his first shot halfway through the 4th quarter. So I am going to go with the Bucks by a slight margin. But I was supremely confident that this series was going to be over in 6. And now I'm starting to question myself. I think we could be going 7 here. And if it goes that far, then I get a little shaky.
Oh, if it goes 7, I can't wait to be in Boston for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But I hope it does really, like, my take is Giannis is going to beat you, right? He's going to beat you no matter what. You can't let the other guys beat you, because if that's the case, you're really going to lose, and you're going to lose bad. If Giannis is scoring points, as long as Tatum's stepping up, as long as Jaylen Brown's stepping up, I mean, we look at what Jaylen Brown did in the first half, 25 points, and then he, barely did anything in the second half. That's when Tatum came alive a little bit. But I'm really high on the Celtics team right now. It does scare me, though, how much Giannis is able to have his way, because, like you said, if Drew Holiday's stepping up, if other guys around him are stepping up, it could be a long, long night for the Celtics, no matter how good they're playing on defense, right? Because it's tough to match this pace of the Bucks.
Yeah, and there's a weird thing in sports, right? When, like I was just saying with that game 1, Durant had such a bad game and you barely won. We take these wins and we look at them as negatives, and we can take losses and look at them as positives, right? One thing that is to be said, which you just said, is Jaylen Brown scored 25 first half points. I think he missed 1 shot. That's not going to happen again. So when you look at it from that lens, you think, okay, there's no way Milwaukee loses again. So we as sports fans find these different ways to come up with what we're looking for, basically. So if you can set all of that aside, I think you have to go with the Bucks here. But there are paths to victory for both teams, which I think is what makes this series probably the most interesting on TV right now.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if it's very interesting. It's going to be a great series. I have a lot of interest, though, in this Memphis Golden State series, because I did not think, I really didn't think Memphis would come out and win that game the other day. But when you look at it, again, Golden State kind of allowed them to win the game, right? Ja Morant beat them. He had 47 points. Draymond Green didn't get ejected, so Jaren Jackson was limited. But honestly, Golden State just missed shots. Klay Thompson was horrendous. If Klay Thompson's good, if Draymond Green stays on the floor, shuts down Jaren Jackson, and they don't let Ja Morant score 47 and then have his way in the fourth quarter with time running out, I don't think Memphis can stay alive in the series, but that's just my take.
Well, see, Taylor, you're doing what I was just talking about. You're looking for justification for what you want to say. What we could also say is that Dylan Brooks, I know he's been bad in this series, but he got ejected just a couple of minutes into the game. And yeah, he's not going to be back in this game either. But in the future, this is a guy that was averaging 24.5 points per game in his last playoff series. Desmond Bane, who was the MVP of that first-round series against the Timberwolves, has been the worst starter for the Grizzlies. Steven Adams, who was their leading rebounder and helped them become the number one team in the NBA at rebounding, isn't playing because of COVID protocols. So you can look at it from both sides. The Grizzlies match up well with the Warriors. They matched up very poorly with the Timberwolves, and that's why that series was a lot closer than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be. But like you were surprised that the Grizzlies won game 2, I was not surprised at all. I took an alternate spread that had the Grizzlies as the favorite because I thought they were going to win, and I thought they were going to do so convincingly. Now, I'd be lying if I said I expected 47, 8, and 8 from Ja, obviously. But what they can do is they can match up with the Warriors' speed and athleticism, which is something that you don't normally say. And on top of that, as much as experience as the Warriors have, the Grizzlies are very young, which means all those loose balls, those 50-50 balls, those hustle plays, other veterans might not want to go after them. These guys can't wait to dive on the floor. And they are legitimately going 11 to 12 guys deep in the playoffs, which you pretty much never see. So I think this is honestly a bad matchup for Golden State. What is the spread for this one? Is it a 2? Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so.
I would take the Grizzlies +2, to be completely honest with you.
Going back to Golden State.
Going back to Golden State. Going back to San Francisco.
No, it's 7, Grant. 7. 7 in Golden State. I would take Memphis at +7.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong game. My mistake.
Yeah,
+7. I'm absolutely taking that. No question about it.
Yeah, it's hard to beat the Warriors at home. We got some comments rolling in. I did love the soccer play. I won another one today. But yeah, it's hard to beat the Warriors at home. 7, I think, is a little too much. I would probably ride with Memphis there. But at the same time, too, like if Memphis goes down, Golden State has the ability to put them away where we didn't see that with Minnesota. And if Minnesota had that ability, it would have been a totally different series, as we talked about last Friday.
Yeah. And Tanner, you want to know one thing that we kind of have to talk about here? There's been murmurs about it, but I think we finally have to start addressing it. Klay Thompson is not the second best player on this team anymore. He might be the 4th best player on this team. I mean, number 1 is Steph Curry. If we want to go back to the whole living
benches.
Huh? What was that?
You say who you're going with.
No, I'm going with the Memphis spread, but I'm saying this to Warriors fans. Maybe Steve Kerr is listening.
Jordan Poole off the bench is really damn good.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going here. In 2022, Jordan Poole has been their number 1 option. So Steph Curry and Jordan Poole are playing better than Klay Thompson. Jordan Poole has scored nearly twice as many points in this series as Klay Thompson on fewer shots. And then Draymond Green, we know, anchors their defense. And I saw a really cool stat. He's averaging 64 assists per 100 possessions, which is just insane, the level that he's facilitating at. By far the greatest in the playoffs. So Klay Thompson, honestly, if I'm speaking to Warriors fans out there, you got to hope Klay is shooting less, which is a very strange thing to say, but it's just the reality we're in now.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, Poole's been pretty damn good off the bench. He's been unreal. But, honestly, though, for them to win the series, they still need Klay Thompson to step up. He needs to make shots when he does shoot the ball because he was horrendous in game 2 for a guy that we expect to be pretty damn good. We got Torres coming in here. James Harden under 22.5. We both went under on that. But yeah, Grant, final thoughts on these basketball games and we'll wrap up here and then I'll get into my bets. But I appreciate you coming on the show. Really do. I love talking to you all the time. It's great.
Yeah, thank you for having me on again, Tanner. I look forward to being back next Friday. Hopefully everybody doesn't hate me because I made some wrong picks. Hopefully they come true and we make some money this weekend.
All right. People want one lock of the day. Now, I hate saying lock, guys. I always say best bets. I learned this from one of my mentors in the industry, but I always say best bet because no such thing as a lock in sports betting. Obviously, we come up with these narratives, and you know what? If they happen, great, but sometimes they don't. So, Grant, if you had a best bet of the day in basketball, it can be prop, total, spread, whatever you want, what would it be?
I wanted to go to your realm. I wanted to go with the New York Yankees run line.
You can take that. You can take that. That's fine. You can take baseball.
Yeah, come on. Yankees won 11 in a row. They lost to the Blue Jays. I heard you say something about the Blue Jays haven't been as impressive as we thought, but they are still a capable team.
Yeah.
Playing the Rangers, they've got Garrett Cole. I know you love to rip on him, but last 2 starts, he's thrown 6+ shutout innings. I think Yankees win big today. I think they start a new winning streak.
Yeah, I agree. I think they win big today. Garrett Cole on the mound. I hate betting with Garrett Cole, but I'm going to do it today. Dude looks like you have highlights. Grant, does it look like I have highlights right now? It's the lighting.
I see. Yeah, I see what they're on to a little bit. Is that it's got to be a yellow light above you, right?
Yeah, it's like it's a headlight out. I got the face light coming in here. I got the headlight. I'm in freaking Hollywood right now, Grant. You know what? But the people say I got the. You guys like it though? Do you like it? Let me know. I mean, you can't just say it and don't tell me if you don't like it. And that's what they're talking about now on TikTok. They're talking about my freaking highlights in my hair. But anyways, Grant, I appreciate you joining me. We'll talk to you next Friday for some more NBA talk.
See you soon, Tanner.
Thanks, Grant. All right, guys. So let's get into our picks for the day. We're going to wrap up here in a few minutes. But basketball-wise, I'm going to go. I already locked in Heat -1. I will take them. If you need a pick, I would say Heat -3, but I already have them at -1 from yesterday. And then I'm going to take Suns -1 there. Grant's not high on that. That kind of does concern me a little bit. I do think the Mavs have a chance to come out and win tonight, but at the same time, I do like the Suns because they have shown me so much more in this series. They're a well-rounded team, all that good stuff. So let's talk hockey, guys. We want to start with hockey. We want to start with baseball. You let me know on TikTok. Let me know in the comments section over here. Let's see if I missed anything. Looks good. I think we're pretty much up to date here. So, guys, start putting your baseball picks in. Start putting your hockey picks in. Let's talk about this a little bit. I'm going to roll through this really quickly here. Toronto +102 versus Tampa Bay. Why am I going to go with Toronto? Tampa Bay won game 2. Tampa Bay's got the best goaltender in the world, one of the best goaltenders in the world, in Andre Vasilevsky. We're going to go with hockey first because I started hockey. Why not, guys? Let's go hockey. I only got 2 plays here. I think as long as Austin Matthews can get going tonight for Toronto, they're going to be just fine. They need to get out to an early lead. This is a must-win game for Toronto. If they win this game tonight, I believe they can win the entire series against Tampa Bay. I mean, Vasilevsky's really, really good, but they're scoring 3.8 goals per game in the series. Like they're scoring. They are scoring goals. Or they scored 8 goals. They scored 8 goals in the series. Like they're scoring. They've done a 3 and a 5 night. So with that being said, I like Toronto at +102 tonight as long as they can get out to an early lead, right? They won game 1. They lost game 2. Going to win game 3, hopefully. We're going to talk about the Bruins here in a minute. I don't have a play in the Bruins game. Then we'll go Blues money line versus the Wild. Now they need to shut down Kirill Kaprizov. Marcus Foligno's a little beat up. That also helps us here. But the Blues are really good, guys. The Blues are really, really good. Marc-Andre Fleury can go off for the Wild, but at the same time, if they get shots on the net early, if they can score early, if they can get up 1-0, 2-0, even 3-0, I know that's pushing a little bit. I think they will be just fine in this hockey game tonight. Blues at -120. I don't love it. Wild at +100. I think that the odds are better, but at the same time, I got to go with who's going to win in this game. And I'm going to take the Blues at -120 there. So those are my 2 hockey plays. Bruins wise, guys, first of all, listen, like I had Jeff Fink from What a Hockey on the show yesterday. And he said to me, he's like, TD Garden can change. It can change the landscape of a series, right? If the Bruins come in and they get the job done in this game, they could be fine in this series. With that being said, though, would I touch Boston at -120 tonight? Hell no. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to root for Boston. I'm not going to take a play in it because I could not touch them at -120 for what they've shown me. They lost 5-1 and 5-2. They haven't been putting pucks on the net. They haven't been converting their shot opportunity. That's what I should say. They put pucks on the net. Linus Ullmark looks horrendous in goal. Like nothing that Boston shown me makes me believe they can win this. They played Carolina 6 times this season in total. Now they haven't won 1 game against Carolina. So I'm not going to ride with Carolina. I think that's terrible. I'm not going to ride with Boston. I think Carolina wins this game. No problem. But I'm hoping not. I still don't like it enough to take a side in it. Last hockey game here we can talk about. That's my only plays. If you guys want to talk more hockey, we can. We can move into baseball. Let me just pull my book up here. Last hockey game night, Edmonton, LA. I think there's value on Edmonton at minus 150 tonight. I think they roll in this series. That's just what I'm going with there. But again, I don't have a play in it. So I'm going to go Toronto money line. That's already shifted now. It's minus 104. I got it at plus 102. And then Blues minus 130. I got it at minus 120 there. So I love that. For a 3-game parlay, pick a third winner. What's your other two? Dad, though, what's your two others? Yeah, I wouldn't touch that game. There we go. Boston couldn't hang with the Canes all season. Dodgers game was postponed. Okay. What about the over 5.5? I would go. Here's my take on the over in the Boston Carolina game. I'm a little afraid to go over 5.5. I know they've done it, but at the same time, too, Carolina has been the one dictating the pace. So say Boston does show up a little bit on defense. They're feeding off that crowd tonight. Linus Ullmark doesn't shit the bed in goal, right? They could be a little better tonight on defense. It could be a 3-1 win for Carolina. It could be a 3-2 win for Carolina. So I'm staying away from that game in total. Maybe I'll do a prop or two just to give me a little extra skin on the game when I'm watching it. But at the same time, I don't want anything to do with that Bruins game tonight. Let's see. I'm not a fan of the MLB board. All I like is Mets, Phillies, alternate under Garrett 8. Garrett Cole to record. A win when it opens. Hockey already picked 2. Yeah, I got my 2. Okay, so you want a third in hockey? I would go Edmonton money line if you want to parlay those. So right now, that current parlay odd on FanDuel, let's see here. The current FanDuel parlay for that odds-wise would be plus 478. So I think that's a pretty damn good deal there. Going money line St. Louis and then taking Toronto, obviously, and then riding with Edmonton. So that would be my 3-team parlay there. Pirates run line. Yes, guys, Pirates run line. Bet against them every day. That's the goal. Let's see what we got. We got some comments here on YouTube. Got to show the YouTube people some love, too. And if you want to watch the interviews, guys, with Grant and stuff, go on YouTube. You can see his face. You can see my face. It's all good stuff. I still got the highlights here, though. The over for Luka is 34.5. We're going to ride with the over there. We did got that comment. Grant Furnace coming in here. Phillies with the comeback win today to give Scherzer his first loss. Yeah, I mean, you can think about that in 2 ways. You could either go, hey, you know what, Scherzer's on the bump. The Mets are feeding high off that win yesterday. They're feeling good. Or you could say, hey, the Phillies are going to come out and they're going to get revenge today. But at the same time, too, I would probably try to side with the Phillies are just depleted. And what that Mets team did yesterday, I will not bet against them. I will genuinely not bet against them because they are explosive and they are dangerous. When J.D. Davis, Mark Canha, and Brandon Nimmo are hitting the freaking baseball, they're really damn good. So I wouldn't go with the Phillies. I would stay away from it. Now, I know the odds are tempting on the Phillies. I think they're plus 130 money line. So with that being said, I'd probably just stay away because I don't trust them. With going against Scherzer, I really don't trust them. Let's see some comments rolling in here on TikTok. Pirates run line. Yeah, I'll take Pirates. Caesars would be near plus 600 for what? Do you like any NBA player props? Yes, I have a few picks today. We went over those with Grant. I like Tyrese Maxey over 22.5, Tobias Harris over 18.5, 19.5. I'm going to go Harden under 22.5. And then Suns wise, I'm going to go Luka over 34.5. So that's what I'm taking there. Yeah, no locks, just bets. That's what we're going with. I say locks, but listen, I love all you guys that watch me every day. I love everyone on YouTube, but there's some crazy guys out there that'll come to me and say, you said this game's a lock. That implies that it's going to win. No, if you want to call it a lock, great. But it's my best bet of the day. What's the one lock in any sport? One lock today. I think Yankees run line looks really, really good on paper. That's what I'll say about that. We're going to talk about that in a minute here. Let's go Mets. No locks, best bets. Harden doesn't have 3 bad games in a row. Don't sleep. No. Tweak of the month. Listen, Harden's had a bad game 12 games in a row in the playoffs. He hasn't gone over 25 for 12 games in the playoffs. So based on the numbers, we don't bet teams, we bet numbers. We don't bet players, we bet numbers. If you're going with that theory, you got to say, hey, I'm going to go under on James Harden tonight. I'm saving my hockey picks for the show tonight, 6 p.m. on BP311 YouTube channel. Yes, me and the coach will be on Brian's show tonight, BP311. We'll be doing it live from Mohegan Sun Sportsbook, FanDuel, guys. We're going to be doing some interviews there as well tonight. So come out, come say hi if you are in Connecticut and want to come hang out. Grab Rockies plus 134 money line versus D-backs. I think that's a good bet today. I think that's a really good bet. MLB plays today. Okay, let's get in the MLB plays. The people want the MLB picks. I only got 2 MLB plays for you guys today, so don't hate on me right now. And you already know one of them, Rangers versus Yankees. Now, with this being said, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, and I'm gonna say DraftKings the best book. No, DraftKings sucks. Don't even get me started. Now, guys, now you got me off. Everyone wants the baseball picks, and I see that comment. DraftKings is literally the worst sports Okay, I shouldn't say that. I like mobile betting on DraftKings, but if you're talking retail sports books at Mohegan, FanDuel at Mohegan versus DraftKings at Foxwoods, there's not even a comparison. It's Mohegan and FanDuel, guys. It's not the new one, especially at Mohegan, is unreal. Bro, FanDuel is robbery. Sugar House even worse. Guys, you're talking mobile betting. That's fine. You're talking mobile betting. I'm talking retail betting. DraftKings is terrible. Yankees team total over 4.5. I would go Yankees team total over 4.5. But that being said, Swayman's playing tonight, Stipey. Okay, that's good. Well, you know what? I would like to see what he's going to do in Golden Knight because Olmark hasn't done a damn thing for me. So that's good that Swayman's starting tonight. I'm still going to stay away from it no matter what. But let's talk about the Yankees game. Let's play devil's advocate for a second. The Rangers are not good, right? But at the same time, Glenn Otto's pitching for them. He's got a really good ERA. He's only thrown 9.1 innings this season, so just keep that in mind, people. The Yankees are going to be the best lineups he's faced. I think New York coming off a bad performance against Yusei Kikuchi and the Blue Jays. I think they step up today. But let's be real. The Yankees were so successful in that run because of what Aaron Judge did. Now, if Aaron Judge doesn't step up today, like the Rangers could do something. Don't just think, oh, it's Garrett Cole versus the Rangers. You got to think, okay, Glenn Otto's on the mound. You got to think, how are the Yankees going to respond off the loss? You're going to think all that stuff's got to go in your head. Now, obviously, based on numbers, I would take Garrett Cole -1.5, Yankees -1.5, I should say. And then I would go over on the team total as well. But at the same time, too, don't just think, hey, Yankees lock of the century because Garrett Cole's on the mound against the Texas Rangers. Guys, it's baseball. I see this all the time. People forget that a bad team in baseball still wins 60 games, except when you're the Cincinnati Reds, people. Okay, so that's what we're going with there. Let's see the comments. I'll give you guys a Nerfy. You want a Nerfy? I'll give you guys a Nerfy. Garrett Cole to record a win when it opens. If Garrett Cole goes 6 innings today, yeah, I mean, that's great. Or 5 innings, whatever. Let's see here. Nerfy. White Sox +1.5. I think White Sox +1.5 is a good deal. How are the Red Sox? Well, the White Sox are really bad. They have a good back end of the bullpen, and Vince Velasquez is going for them, and he's not very good. So I can see it against Nathan Eovaldi, but I would never touch the ball. Don't lay -178 for the Boston Red Sox today. If you like the Red Sox, lay -1.5 at +114. That's what I'll say. If you like the Red Sox, don't take a money line because it's just -178. There's no value. It's probably better to go against the Red Sox, take a chance on the White Sox, because I bet White Sox wins 2 of 3 today, or 2 of 3 in the series. So anyway, and by the way, the Sunday game, if you want to watch that, it's at 11 a.m. for the Red Sox because I don't know, it's on one of these streaming services that they're trying to do. I'm still sick from the Phillies game. I'm feeling good from the Phillies game. I don't know. That's probably the worst way you could possibly lose a bet. Under in Philly 7.5 makes sense, but at the same time, too, these offenses, what they did yesterday, it's hard for me to say that. Guys, the Nerfy's coming, people. Let me get through my straights. White Sox versus Red Sox under 8.5. I think this is the best bet of the day, one of them in baseball. I give a lot of best bets. All right. White Sox, Vince Velasquez on the mound. He could get beat up, right? He could. I'm not going to lie. This Red Sox team has the ability to beat him up. But who are the 2 guys hitting for the Red Sox right now? JD Martinez and Xander Bogaerts. Other than that, like Kike's not, I don't know, Kike's hurt, but Kike's wasn't hitting the ball. Alex Verdugo's calmed down immensely. Bobby Dahlbeck's got batting like 180. Trevor Story looks like, words can't even describe what Trevor Story looks like. He looks like he should be playing in single A, like the league that you get drafted right out of freaking college and then go play 40 games in the summer. He looks like he should be playing in low A right now. He's so bad. So these teams have a combined OBP. Their average is 277 combined, right? Or combined OBP of 277. They're each batting like 220, 230 as a team, right? And their pitching staffs have been good. The Red Sox pitchers have overperformed. I think the White Sox have done what we expected them pitching-wise. Nathan Eovaldi's on the mound. He should hopefully shove against this White Sox team. You got to shut down Tim Anderson. That's where it all starts for them. If he can do that, they're going to be fine. 2.51 ERA, 0.94 whip, right? Vince Velasquez could get beat up. Hopefully he can do enough to get to the back end of the bullpen, and this game stays under 8.5. That's what I'm going with there. The Red Sox bullpen's extremely shaky right now, and they're beat up. So for this game to stay under, Nathan Eovaldi needs to have a day. I'm counting on him to have a day. That's what I'm going with there. Let's give I got to get the Nerfy. I see Blue Jays Guardians over 6.5 rolling in. I got to get my Nerfy pick right now because people are going to go crazy if we don't get their Nerfy, guys. And guys, another thing too. I was talking to a guy the other day about this. Don't just bet a game because it starts early. Like everyone wanted to bet Dodgers. I get it. Dodgers run line. It got canceled. But don't just bet the game because it starts at 11. Like I guarantee on Sunday, I'm going to wake up to about 1 million messages saying, what do you think in this Red Sox game? Because it's at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, right? Don't just bet a game because it's the first game to start and you need to bet it. That's my take on that. Okay, so let's keep going here. Tanner Kern, man of the people. Go buy a t-shirt. Link in the description below. So let's keep going. I really, my Nerfy of the day, I would say, is Marlins Padres with Alcantara versus Darvish. There's not going to be a lot of runs scored in that game. The total's at 6.5 and both pitchers can shove. That's my Nerfy of the day. Now you're probably not going to get a lot of value there, but that's what I would call it. BP 311, no value in Red Sox money line today at plus 105 is worth a shot at plus 200 yesterday. Yeah, Reds money line at plus 105. Yeah, it's not worth it. There's no value on the Reds at all. Just go the other way on the run line. You're going to win more times than not, but don't bet your house any day because they will win eventually. Red Sox versus White Sox Sunday, 11:30 a.m. on Peacock. Yes, that's the thing. They're going on Peacock. We got Peacock, Apple TV. I don't know why we just don't put it on freaking ESPN. Anyways, Grant Furness coming in here. That's 100% facts. Yes, it is. So we had questions about Blue Jays, right? Blue Jays, Guardians. Blue Jays aren't hitting the ball. Guardians aren't hitting great. Kevin Guzman and Shane Bieber have the ability to shove, but at 6.5, like you're going to see that jump to 7 by the end of the day because anytime there's a 6.5 line that opens in baseball, people will automatically take a chance on it because that's really 2 good innings. Like you can get to 6.5 in 2 good innings. That being said, the Blue Jays aren't having those good innings. They struck out 10 times yesterday. Vladdy's the only guy that I'm really seeing do something right now. So personally for me, I would probably fade it knowing the Guardians don't hit well and knowing the Blue Jays are struggling. And because I'll never take under on a 6.5. I will never do it. I struggle to take unders on 7.5. Just my own personal gut feeling, right? So that's my take there. It's worth taking. Like if you're going to get 6.5, for me to take a 6.5 line, I have to go over with it. That being said, I think there's better bets in baseball today than that. How putting them Reds? What's your win percentage? Win percentage is like 581 right now. So we're feeling good. I got all my plays on my records in my bio on Tanner Kern. So go check it out. Follow my personal page. Let's see here. I'm doing this for free, guys, for you. I'm giving my picks for free. If you want them, take them. If you don't. Anyways, guys. So that does it. Any other questions, throw them in the chat. If not, we're going to sign off here. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes today. We're getting after it, people. We're grinding, and we're trying to win some money here. Anyone got some questions? Throw them in the chat. If not, we will sign off here. I appreciate everyone joining today. It was great to have Grant on. He'll be on every Friday with us. So a lot of fun. Let's get to 3,000 likes, guys. We're at 2.8 thousand. Let's get to 3,000. 58% is about right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Rockies money line. Let's talk about the Rockies game. Yeah, I'm 58%. A great better, is whatever, 50. You can beat the house at 53. It depends what you're doing too. And this is another thing, guys, those touts out there. And believe me, I'm friends with a lot of touts. I'm friends with a lot of betting analysts that post picks and sell picks. And that's not my path right now, at least. But if you see a guy on TikTok, max play today, bet of the century, give me $50 for this play. Don't do it. Don't do it, guys, because you know what? Honestly, they don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We have a narrative in our head. And at the same time, too, if another guy says they win 92% of the time or 86% of the time or 70-something, if you're winning over 65%, if you're bragging about how you win over 65%, and I'm sure there's touts watching this right now on here too, but if you're bragging about winning 67, 68% of the time, you're not. You're genuinely not. Because a great better, a great long-term better, a career better is winning 57 to 60% of the time. And if you're at 60, you are one of the best in the business. That's what I'll say about that, people. You're solid, bro. I appreciate that. Touts, touts aren't all scumbags. There's good. You just got to find the right person that you get your picks from, right? It's fine to buy picks or something, but if you're going on and you're talking to someone and they're like, yo, I win 82% of the time, I got my max play here, it's just a scam, guys, because no one wins 82% of the time, especially when they're like a 22-year-old and they say they've been in the business for 20 years. Genuinely, guys, I've been betting since I was 18, okay? I'm 20, 24 now, right? That's 6 years. I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been in media for about 3, right? Like there's guys that I've seen that are 26 that say they've been in the business for 20 years. They've been an expert sports bettor for 20 years, guys. No, they haven't. They've probably been betting for like 2 weeks. I don't know, guys. I don't give my opinions. I don't name names. I'm just saying what I see. Royals, Orioles over 8. Let's see here. Man of the people staying on here over an hour, guys. Grinding for you guys. Need a water break, but you know what? I'm playing through it like a champ. Royals, Orioles. Yeah, I'd go over 8 on that with Lyles and Hernandez on the bump. Both offenses are relatively explosive. If you look at the Baltimore's like past like 5, 6, 7 games, they've been scoring a lot of runs and they've been getting a lot of runs scored on. So I would go over 8 on that for sure. Let's see. Final questions here. Any other questions, guys? Let's see. I do like the Suns and the Heat. I got them both at -1, but I'm going to show a -3 play today just because that's what people have. And if I post -1, they're going to be like, where'd you get that from? Do you like the Mets today? I don't like the Mets for the odds. No, I don't. Yeah, I mean, with Scherzer on the mound, it's great, but because there's 2 different theories, guys. There's like, I can say, hey, the Phillies are going to come out or they're going to fold from yesterday. I would tend to go more with the Mets side of things, but at the same time too, guys, it's very hard because you just don't know how it's going to happen. So I'm staying away from that game. I could give you an opinion on it, but again, I'm not going to play it. So I don't want to be like, hey, bet this. Bruins, Canes under. Yeah, I was more on the under in that game, I think. But again, I'm not playing Bruins today. I'm not playing Bruins money line. I think -120 for Bruins money line is absolutely ridiculous because they have not shown me any ability to play with Carolina. Bruins on the total wise, I would probably say go under there just because I think they're going to come out a little bit on fire. Swayman's in the net though, as we saw from Stipe here. He let me know that. So it's hard to say, but I think they come out. I think they're electrified by that crowd a little bit tonight, and they're going to be just fine on defense. I think Carolina's going to win 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, maybe 4-2. That gets the game over, but I think there's a greater likelihood of it going under. But again, I'm staying away from that. I'm going to Mohegan tonight with my jersey on. I'm going to watch the game and I'm going to enjoy it just as a fan tonight, and then sweat out my other bets at the same time. Reds, Pirates over 7.5 people. Let's see this game. Yeah, I mean, the Reds actually hit the ball decent yesterday, right? But with that being said, I don't think you can rely on the Pirates offense. I don't think you can rely on the Reds offense. It's at 8.5 for me now. So if it opened at 7.5 and it jumped to 8.5, I would probably just stay away from it. That's my take, though. That's my take. Any other questions, guys? Throw them in the chat. Baseball is a streaky sport. One-time Reds. Let's start this 16-teamer off right. I'm not touching the Reds today, Sharky. Don't give me that. I'm not betting them at all. So that does it, guys. Let's recap here. My picks today. Here's my picks, and I'll post these on TikTok in a little bit. I got to get a water break and, hydrate and all that good stuff. But so I'm going to go with Suns. I'm going to take Suns -1. I'm going to take Heat -3. They opened at -1. I have them at -1, but my pick today is -3, even though they opened at -1. I have my personal bet at -1. Toronto +102, Blues money line at -120, Yankees -1.5, and then Red Sox, White Sox under 8.5. I got Reds alternative +2.5 in a way. I don't think that's bad for a +2.5 for the Reds, but again, like they get blown out by everyone. Like their teams are 20-5 against the spread on the run line with them this year. So 2.5, it's a little risky there too. I'm going to be honest with you. Be straight up with you. Anyways, any other questions? What's the 3-team parlay out of all your picks? So when I do a 3-team parlay, I'll do it differently, guys. I'll post that later today. But when I do a 3-team parlay, I go 2 heavy favorite. I go 1 heavy favorite and then 2 of my regular picks. So like, for example, let's see what we got here. Like I would probably go Pirates money line's a good bet today at -130. That's a good bet. But I'd probably go, I'd find a heavy favorite somewhere. And I would play it. Like I'd probably go Miami money line today in basketball, and then I would pair that with 2 more things. I'll post some parlays in a little bit here. Yankees money line, Rockies money line, Jays Garden over 6.5, Angels money line, Phillies Mets over 7. I like it. It looks good to me. I would go with all those. I'm not going to play all those, but I would go with all those. Give me a play to bet on. I've given you guys so many plays to bet on. Come on now. I've given you everything. Suns -1. Heat minus, Suns -1, Heat -3, Toronto money line, Blues money line, Yankees 1.5, White Sox, Red Sox under today. That's what I'm going with. Those are my plays. Parlay wise, I'd probably go. Let's see. I'd rather take a little more time and cook something up for you guys. But if you want something quick right now, I'd go Heat money line. I would pair that with the under in the Red Sox game, and I would honestly probably tease it up a little bit. I would probably tease it to like 9.5. And then I would go with probably Blue Jays money line. I think they bounced back today. You could take Astro. I'd go Astros money line. They've been hot. You could go so many different ways with that, but that's what I would ride with. I'm going to post a bunch of stuff. Guys, for my parlays. I'll do that later today. Give me a little bit of time, but you have all my straights. So that's all good to go. All good, guys. I'm going to sign off here. Appreciate all the time. Make sure you go on. We're working hard here. Buy a t-shirt for us. Buy a t-shirt. Go in the link in the description. Link in the bio on TikTok. Link in the description on YouTube. Get a t-shirt, guys. Check out us on TikTok. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And that's what we're rolling with there. One more comment here. Stay away from the Rockies coming from the cold. This Arizona Heat, LMAO, they will burn. The Arizona Diamondbacks play inside, though. Come on now. Arizona Diamondbacks play inside. Arizona's been pretty hot, though. That's all I'll say. They got a good back end of the bullpen. Do I like poodles? Yes, I like poodles. I'd rather have a golden retriever, though. See you at 6, guys. Make sure you check out BP311's YouTube channel. I'll be on there doing a podcast tonight representing 3-Team Parlay. So, guys, thanks for joining me. We're signing off here. Have a good one, and we will talk to you tomorrow for another episode of Bet the Day.